All right, guys, I'm back. Finally getting my Devastator reviews up. I've had them for a while now. This is the Studio Series 86 Constructicon team, specifically Scavenger. He was the last Constructicon I got, but he's my favorite. I like him the most, so I'm going to review him first, and then eventually we're going to work our way to the other Constructicons. I have all of them already, but I was thinking for a while about what order I wanted to do them in, so eventually I finally decided that I would do Scavenger first. As you can see, he is a construction vehicle. I believe he's an excavator. There's not much to him in his vehicle mode. He pretty much turns into a rectangle with a shovel. I love it, though. Love that he turns into pretty much a green brick. Can't do a whole lot with him. You can do this, whatever that is. You can do that thing you can do with like other construction vehicles in real life if you've ever seen them outside. He's got some articulation. This spin is 360 degrees. The bucket itself is articulated, so you can move it, you can dig with it. He has his canopy, or the area where the operator goes. I don't know how accurate this is to the actual construction vehicle itself, but it looks pretty good to me. You got hydraulic details, hydraulic hoses, the actual pistons themselves. None of that stuff moves for the sake of durability and playability for adults and children. Mostly children, though. We're probably going to be playing with these. If you're an adult, you're probably going to mess with it every once in a while and put it on your shelf. But he's got some paint on the bottom. This ends up becoming his chest. It is pretty much flush with the ground, so maybe if he has some wheels down here to set him off the ground a little bit, that wouldn't be so bad. But on its own, I wouldn't slide him across the ground too roughly. You might scrape off some of that beautiful silver chest paint. You see a Decepticon logo, but we'll get to that in the robot mode. But yeah, there's not much to say in his vehicle mode. He's a deluxe. He's $24.99. He doesn't have a whole lot of paint. You got a Decepticon symbol right here. And obviously the canopy's painted to distinguish it. You got some silver on, I assume these are like connector rods. On the real vehicle, they probably go across. There is no silver on the wheels, though, that touch the treads. The treads aren't rubber. It's probably a good thing. I don't think they've ever made a Transformer that had rubber treads that didn't suck. Maybe a leader class Brawl from 07. But yeah, he's pretty cool. Getting him into his robot mode is not complicated, but it's, for me at least, I know some people, they have mixed opinions about him, but I think he looks cute in his robot mode. I think he looks really nice. But it's not super complicated either. You just split his legs down the middle until he's doing this. We're going to call this his excavator base mode. There's definitely something there. Oh, before we do that, though, here, I forgot to mention. In his vehicle mode, you can take his blaster, which is the only accessory he comes with, and you can sit it right here in case being a giant, possibly 20,000-pound excavator truck wasn't threatening enough. You have a full-grown, man-sized cannon that can be strapped, or I guess mounted to the top of his vehicle mode. So that's pretty scary. Like the Killdozer on steroids. But, you know, we'll get to that. But to get him into his robot mode, you split him down the middle into his Scavenger base mode. Not really. I think it looks cool, though. He's T-posing. Then this part's pretty cool. This is different. He's sort of similar. His entire leg portion right here is almost identical to Bone Crusher, because they both have to turn into arms. They both have to connect at the same point. He just doesn't have heels. Why he doesn't have heels, I haven't been able to figure out. So he doesn't stand as well as Bone Crusher, but he does still stand up. But you flip him around 180 degrees. You fold up in his toes. He has a heel, and then he has a toe section here. And here, they're kind of stiff, but you can get them. Then this part gets a little bit tricky. You kind of separate this, and then you bring the arm up and the elbow down, and this will snap into place. You don't have to, but you kind of want to. Then this entire side section We'll tab in right there pretty securely. You do the same thing over here, but it's slightly trickier because the canopy is in the way. So you get his arm out, and you kind of just finagle it at about the same time. And if you do both at the same time, you should be able to get the chest, this shoulder portion, and this canopy portion tabbed in like so. The tab that held the sides in the vehicle mode will hold the canopy in the robot mode. And then I don't think he uses this as a weapon in the cartoon, you know, but you can in the robot mode, or you can just put it on his back. We'll save his head for a second. This part I don't like. So his hands are painted completely green. But as far as I've been able to tell, the only way to get his hands out of his arms is to grip them somewhere on the painted surface and then pull them out. So 100% unavoidably, you are going to tear off some of the paint sooner or later because they go in pretty tight. I mean, you can't just rub them out like this. You can't just use friction between your fingers to pull them out. You have to grip them. You see I'm already missing some on his fingers. I don't know if it's reading on camera. I don't like that. I guess the only silver lining is the hands under the paint are purple, so it won't look too bad if it does rub off completely. But while it's rubbing off, it's probably going to be ugly. And then you open his chest, and you pull his head out. Let's give him his gun, too, so he can look all armed up and ready. Yeah. That looks nice. Look at that head. That's what I'm talking about. When I want a robot, construction worker, battle construction worker, robot head, dude, this is what I think of. I love this. He just looks mean. His shoulders are really broad. Just love the way he looks. Some people don't like the diaper. I don't mind the diaper. I don't mind it when the robots have, because again, they're not people. They have a humanoid build, but they're not people. They are robots. So they don't have to have a completely proportionate build. So I don't mind his big diaper section. You can do this. This is pretty funny if you get it out. Oh, don't mind that. You can put him into, he's definitely excavating something. But, you know, use your imagination. You can, I mean, he's a deluxe. You can pose him a little bit. He has ball jointed elbows, ball jointed shoulders. You can collapse the shoulder joint and get a little bit more articulation. Maybe if you don't want his shoulder so broad. He does not have a waist like all the other constructicons. There is no waist. Ball joints at the hips, a swivel at the hip, 90 degrees at the knee, and he does have an ankle tilt. But the ankle tilt is it has 2 points where it locks. It locks here and here. You can kind of finesse it in the middle. One does it a little bit better than the other. I think this one does. If you want to get him into some slightly more dynamic looking poses, he can do it. No wrist though, unfortunately. But again, he's a $24.99 deluxe. I think he has a great amount of articulation for that price point. I think he has a good amount of paint. Most of the paint on the robot mode ends up on his chest. There's a black circle behind the Decepticon symbol. Remember, like I said earlier, you want to be careful with this when you're rolling him in his vehicle mode because this is in contact with the ground. But all in all, he's the last one I got. Visually, he's my favorite Constructicon, except maybe the fully combined Devastator mode. I think he's starting to pop up in Targets in the area around here. I got him from Toy Addicts in San Diego. That's where I'm located. If you can find him anywhere from $24.99 that he retails at to $30, I would definitely say get him. He's worth it on his own as his own figure, and he's certainly worth it for the Devastator mode. I'm having a real hard time deciding between liking Devastator more or Superion more. It's really, really hard for me. But for sure, this dude, I love this little robot. This thing is a gem. Probably one of my favorites. He has a really cool blaster, too. He's my favorite blaster of all the Constructor. This is just my favorite. He's not perfect, but he's my favorite. I like him. I think if you like combiner robots, I actually personally handled the Combiner Wars Devastator. I never owned him, but I did handle him pretty thoroughly, and I think this one's better. I think this is the best official version of Scavenger. I haven't touched any of the third-party stuff. But yeah, if you want to get him, I recommend it. I've been having a blast. He's pretty durable. There's no points on him that I think are going to break off, or except maybe the paint on his hands, if you're careful with this. But he feels durable. He feels nice and solid. All of these combiners, they feel really, really solid. I think you can't go wrong. If you like what you saw, go out, pick yourself up Scavenger. You should be seeing them pop up pretty soon in retailers near you. Thank you for watching, guys.